Latinos are increasingly rallying towards President Trump.
His approval ratings rising 19 points since the government shutdown, from 31% to 50% today.
Here to react is Republican strategist Gus Portela. Gus, thanks for being here. It is an astonishing number to say that since the government shutdown, so in a month of adults, and this is a poll by NPR and PBS, so this is not a conservative poll, shows support amongst Latinos up from 31% to 50% for President Trump. What do you make of that number?
Well, I think it's a very important number. Latinos are waking up to the sham that is the message that the Democratic Party has had towards Latinos, right? This president has done historic strides to help the Latino community. Look, you see unemployment numbers around the country for the Latino community are at a historic low. You see job creation for the Latino community are at a historic high. And so you're seeing that these communities around the country, the Latino community in particular, are truly benefiting from this, and obviously giving President Trump a little more of a bump in the polls.
Gus, on the question of elected officials making compromises and asking, which one comes closer to your view, 63% saying I like elected officials to make compromises, 31% saying I like elected officials who stick to their positions. What do you make of that?
Well, you're seeing that President Trump really can fall in both of those, right? He's willing to make a deal, he's willing to compromise, but Democrats, on the other hand, they're simply not, right? You've seen it recently where Republicans gathered in the White House and there was no sign of a Democrat, and instead they were vacationing, right? They were in Puerto Rico, and Nancy Pelosi was recently in Hawaii, and now who knows where she's going to take some time off. But we're seeing that Republicans and President Trump is willing to come to the table, but also sticking to his principles. So he really fits in both of those, and again, people are rewarding him with their support.
Gus, briefly, Democrats have predicated future success on this idea that minority populations are a default voting bloc for them in perpetuity. So if you're a Democrat today, looking at that number, a 50% approval rating after this showdown over the border, what are you thinking?
Well, you're thinking that, Hispanics do care about border security. They come to this country, some of them fleeing the crisis that's happening in their country, right? Where they're, the violence from gangs and from unstable governments, that's drawing them to the United States. And simply put, it's really important for them to realize that these Hispanics here in this country, that Democrats have failed them. Democrats have not lived up to their word, and it's important for Democrats to know that people are seeing, especially in the Hispanic community, that they're not keeping to their promises. You saw President Obama promise multiple times, right, over the course of 8 years, immigration reform, and he didn't do anything. He didn't compromise, and simply put, didn't do anything to really advance Hispanic communities. And I think President Trump is making strides into that.
Yeah, I didn't see this poll get covered all that much.
Yeah.
Doesn't really fit the old narrative.
Right.
It doesn't, right? You're seeing billions of dollars going to coverage to break down the work that President Trump is doing. And really it's a distraction in trying to help Democrats.
Imagine if the president had only 75% negative coverage instead of 90. Right? It's unbelievable. Gus Portela, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Good stuff.